It's March 2023, and I'm visiting Cannon Beach on the Oregon coast. My first stop is to visit Haystack Rock. Haystack Rock is a monolithic volcanic rock that rises 235 feet above the sea. Probably one of the most visited and photographed sites on the Oregon coast. As we'll see in a bit, Haystack Rock is far from the only thing to see in the Cannon Beach area, but for the moment we'll focus on Haystack Rock. Of course, the appearance changes as the light changes and as you move around and look at different aspects of the rock. This view of the north side is from the late afternoon. A closer view of the north side of Haystack Rock. This was taken in the morning light shortly after dawn. A still closer view of the north side. This view shows some rocks north of Cannon Beach and Haystack Rock in the distance. The city of Cannon Beach is a popular travel destination, and it can be quite crowded during the summer. There are a number of restaurants offering a wide variety of different foods. There are also many art galleries and studios. During my visit, I stayed at the Sea Ranch RV Resort, which is located at the north end of Cannon Beach. It's a very convenient location to both visit the beach and Haystack Rock, as well as some of the other nearby sites. I was surprised to find that elk are rather frequent visitors to the RV park. Roosevelt elk are a subspecies that can be found throughout much of western Oregon. The highest concentrations are found in the coastal range, and elk can be found at a number of places along the coast. In addition to Haystack Rock, there are a number of interesting places to visit in the surrounding area. In particular, Ecola State Park lies just to the north of Cannon Beach and offers a number of striking coastal features. Ecola State Park is day use only, and there are two parking areas in the park, one at Indian Point and one at Ecola Point. From the parking lot at Indian Point, it's a short walk to gain access to the beach and views of the rocky point. Looking straight ahead to the north, that's Indian Point. Looking to the south from Indian Beach, you can see the volcanic rock formations that are offshore from Ecola Point. If you look closely at the rock that's furthest to the right, you can probably see that waves pass through the center of the rock. This is Sea Lion Arch Rock. I'll have a closer view of this arch rock in just a minute. The parking lot at Ecola Point leads to a number of different trails. Directly ahead is Ecola Point and also the trail that heads down to Ecola Point. The trail splits and one branch of the trail goes to the south side of the point and the other branch goes to the north side. After taking the south branch, there are views of the rocks off Chapman Point and in the far distance, Haystack Rock. A trail also leads to the other side, the north side of Ecola Point. The trail doesn't go far enough to permit a view of the rocks offshore of Ecola Point. If you look on the right side near the horizon, you can probably see a small white area. That small white area is the Tillamook Lighthouse. With the use of a long telephoto lens, we can get a better look at the lighthouse. It's located more than a mile offshore. The lighthouse was built in 1881 and inactivated in 1957. It was known as Terrible Tilly, probably due to the isolation and perhaps also due to the nasty weather that the keepers sometimes had to endure. There's also a trail that heads north from the parking lot, going to Indian Beach. After going a short distance down this trail, you cross Crescent Creek. Just up ahead, you can see the bridge over the creek. The creek flows through a bog-like area. The yellow lily-like blooms are from a plant called skunk cabbage. The trail winds through the dense coastal forest with abundant ferns all around. After about a quarter of a mile, the trail climbs up a ridge leading to a great viewpoint. From this vantage point, there's a great view of Indian Point and Indian Beach to the north. To the south, you get a very good view of Sea Lion Arch Rock. In addition to Ecola State Park to the north of Cannon Beach, there are two other interesting state parks to the south of the city, Arcadia Beach and Hug Point. To get to Arcadia State Park from Cannon Beach, you travel south on US Highway 101, the Coast Highway. Arcadia Beach is bounded by Humbug Point at the north end and Hug Point at the south end. The trail from the parking lot goes down to the north end of Arcadia Beach. A short walk reveals Humbug Point jutting out into the ocean. It's then another relatively short drive down Highway 101 to get to Hug Point Day State Park. Hug Point marks the north end of Hug Point State Park, and Point Meriwether marks the south end of the park. It's important to note that the trail from the parking lot comes down to the beach south of Austin Point. Therefore, you need to go around Austin Point to get to Hug Point. At the time of my visit, the tide was sufficiently high that I couldn't go around Austin Point. Therefore, I couldn't get to Hug Point. If you want to get to Hug Point, you need to keep the tides in mind. That's Austin Point directly ahead. As you can see, the waves are rolling in past the end of the point. The water isn't that deep at the end of the point, and if it was summer, and depending upon whether the tide was coming in or going out, you might think about waiting around the end of the point. But it's March and quite cold, and I didn't even consider waiting around Austin Point to try to get to Hug Point. I'm now walking down the beach, headed south towards Point Merriweather. Having a person in view helps keep a perspective on the size of these massive volcanic rocks. It's time for me to head home. I've enjoyed exploring this part of the beautiful Oregon coast, and I hope you enjoyed learning about things to see in the Cannon Beach area in addition to Haystack Rock.